Let's go to the next one. This comes from Typical Books. They say, great overview of the RSS import tool. I used it for the horror film podcast that I co-host, and I found the same things. In addition, if I had a wish list for YouTube, it would be to not have just a static image as the video. For all the branding as a podcast, it is still a video with a video track that is a static image that could burn into some television sets. I think this is a bad move, and the image should swap between an image and text or fade in and out at least. Typical Books, thank you very much for the comment. That is a fantastic point that I had not even considered. The fact that these are hour-long episodes and it's just going to have a static image up on screen, that may cause an issue for people, especially if they have the podcast pulled up and they're not doing anything else. If somebody is listening in the YouTube Music app, it shouldn't be a problem because you will be able to move out of the app and do other stuff. If you are listening in a browser, you can open up another tab and continue listening while that plays in the background. But if you're listening to a podcast with a static image on your television, I don't think there's a workaround. I have not seen a way to have picture-in-picture. I have not seen a way to jump out of the YouTube app while the video continues to play. Maybe they'll roll out a YouTube Podcasts, or I guess it would be the YouTube Music app for the television, and then you may have that capability. But I think your suggestions are great. Have the image fade in and out to avoid that. Maybe have a couple of images that will slide through like a slideshow. Maybe if you have chapter markers with images, you could have those pop up as the chapters come up. Or I think it would be great if they had some kind of visualizer of the audio, like a typical visualizer where you have the full frequency range, kind of like an old stereo system. I think that would look really cool and add some nice dynamics, so it's a lot more interesting than, here's a static image, look at this, nothing is happening. There have been quite a few podcasts over the years that have had interesting ways to combat this or overcome this issue. I don't think it's that they were trying to overcome screen burn-in, but the one that comes to mind is watchfinder.co.uk. They were publishing audio-only podcasts to their YouTube channel, and they had two people on. They would have different images of microphones for each of the hosts they would switch between. When they were talking about a watch, they would throw up some images of the watch. It was a great way to have an audio first and audio only podcast on YouTube where the visuals actually added context, they added value. And on top of that, it also solved the issue of potential screen burn-in. Of course, that does create a lot more work for the podcast producer because now they would have to actually produce a video as opposed to just having the artwork that gets uploaded. So I still think your solutions are great. I think YouTube ought to address this. I am assuming YouTube just thinks people aren't going to be sitting there with a static image up on the screen for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm guessing they have data, maybe they know, or maybe they're assuming that people will start a video, a podcast with that static image, and then go do something else. They'll pop up another tab, they'll go to a different app. But if they are watching on TV, I don't know many people who listen to podcasts that don't have visual components on their TV. Maybe there are some out there, but that is an instance where that could potentially be an issue. Great points that I had not considered. Thank you very much for bringing that up.